It's a win.
It's hot out there. Let's blow them off the line of scrimmage. Hold on, one time.
Welcome to RamView Wrap Up. I'm Joe Terosian, and today we're going to wrap up Week 6 against the Baltimore Ravens. And this episode is brought to you by Kistler Law Firm. Injured in an auto accident? Need help? Got questions? Call Kistler Law at 661-206-6990. And check out KistlerLawFirm.com. That's one word, KistlerLawFirm.com. Kistler Law, they've been fighting for you since 92. I wanted to get on yesterday afternoon, but I was enjoying that Tampa Bay Frisco game too much that I thought, you know what, let's save it till the morning. Everyone else is giving their thoughts. And that was a really good game to watch. Baker Mayfield is something else. Okay, got about 10 or 12 thoughts here real quick. We're not doing a full RamView episode. We're going to do that this afternoon about 3:30, someplace in there, because the NFL is playing doubleheader on Monday night, and they're not staggering the games. They're just staggering them by an hour. So we want to get it in before all that frustration sets in. So good news first. The Rams are 4-2, and their best football is still in front of them, right? That's really optimistic, is that you can look at this team and think, all right, they've banked 4 wins, and their best football is ahead of them. When we looked at the schedule, we thought after 6 weeks, the Rams would be 4-2 because Philly was the defending champs, tough road game. Baltimore is a Super Bowl contender, road game. Okay, we understood those things, and we expected worst case scenario to be the Rams to be 4-2. Guess what? The Rams are 4-2, and their best football is still in front of them. All right. The bad news, 6 weeks into the season, they're still not playing their best football. Looking at the rest of the schedule that the Rams have, it's easy right now to project 2 losses to Seattle, a loss to Tampa, and a loss to Detroit. And you never know how close they'll make it with their occasional brain freezes against Arizona, a rematch against Frisco, Jacksonville next week, Carolina, and Atlanta. You just don't know with this team because they allowed a truly decimated, horrible Ravens team at this moment to have life. And of course, they let a team as decimated as the 49ers were have a victory at home. So you don't know what to expect from this Rams team, and they're not even close to playing their best football. They haven't even put together 4 quarters of football this season. So stick with the positives here. Kyron Williams didn't fumble. Neither did Blake Corum. Steve Avila was back. And at least against a terrible Baltimore defense, Warren McClendon again proved he's more than serviceable as a backup at right tackle. So that's really good right there. That was good. The Rams didn't get too badly banged up. In fact, they did a pretty good job against a defensive line that's missing Matabuke and a serious pass rush. So cool. Nate Landman, right, has become the master of the peanut punch. He was fantastic, and everyone's making a big deal because he set a record for tackles. I'm always suspect on how tackles are really handed out, but I'll take it. Good for him. All right. What I don't understand is how everyone around the league let him go. They let him just, Nate Landman, who is this guy? Credit to the scouting department. Again, a Rams strength for seeing something Atlanta and nobody else saw in him. Really nice move bringing in Nate Landman. That guy's been a home run from the get-go. Note to Chris Shula, after watching this game, more Sean Dolak, please. Hey, I'm not saying Troy Reeder should be put in the street. I love Troy Reeder on special teams. I do. Build a statue to him as a special teams player. But I want more Sean Dolak out there. I want him getting snaps. I want him getting experience. And when Spates comes back, that's a very rangy, tough, active linebacking unit that you can rotate in there. Another positive, with the exception of the initial drive, which was a total negative, the defense did its job. And when the game was on the line, because it's always on the line with the Rams, the pass rush got home and got fat. Byron Young picked up 2 late game sacks. I want to call them garbage sacks, but they were critical at that moment. When there's still 2 minutes to play, You never know with an onside kick, all that kind of stuff. Young picked up 2 sacks. He has 7.5 or 8. Yeah, 7.5 sacks on the season. So excellent for Byron Young. Jared Verse got one. Laurel Murchison got one. The goal line stand was impressive until you realize the Ravens were inside the 2 or at about the 2 and tried to run a poor man's tush push, not once, but twice with Mark Andrews. You got a Hall of Fame running back, and he didn't touch the ball until 4th down on that series there. I don't know if he carried – I think he might have carried it on 1st down. But you got 3 shots at the 2, and Derrick Henry only touches it once, and then on 4th down, when everyone knows he's getting the ball, and Jared Verse made a heck of a play on that, man. Stand up, the blockers still made the play. Great job by him. But thank you to Todd Monken and Jim Harbaugh or John Harbaugh on that, because why would you run that play? Why? I don't get it. And then think about this in regards to the Ravens. There were other times in 4th down situations, 4th and 3, when the Ravens didn't even have their best player, King Henry, on the field. So, yeah, it was pretty brutal. Also, the Ravens had Joe Noteboom in at right tackle. Cooper Rush looked horrible. Lamar Jackson, of course, didn't play. Zay Flowers was coughing up the ball left and right. And it was only a 17-3 victory, right? And there's some of the negative, right? It's only a 17-3 victory, but a win is a win, and hope remains. Josh Carty hardly removed any of the drama when he hit the loudest doink I've ever heard. But hey, a kick wasn't blocked, right? Small victories right now, right? Small victories, and so you got to take them. Interesting things you're looking around with the team here. Atwell, Havenstein, Spates were inactive. Those were expected. Swan Johnson was inactive. I'm sorry to say, he looks like he's on borrowed time. Colby Parkinson, concussion protocol, held back. Okay, we understood that. But Bo Limmer was inactive again, and something doesn't seem right in regards to Bo Limmer, right? And I'm not sure if it's an attitude or what. He plays well enough to stay on the team, but the Rams just seem to be holding him back right now. It's like they're not pleased with him. I'm not saying that you're going to start him ahead of Shelton right now. Avila is back. Kevin Dotson is there, so there's no place to play him, but he was inactive again. I thought that was interesting to see. And the Rams still have a problem at center, right? In the long run, it's still a big situation. Stafford's fumble is on Stafford. I get it. But Coleman Shelton got blown up on that play right back into Stafford's face. And I find it hard to extend grace to Coleman Shelton, because while the Rams understand player personnel when bringing in a Nate Landman, I still can't get my mind around Coleman Shelton being the starting center. Looking around the division, 49ers continue to play hard. Mac Jones continues to prove himself, and another Fog City veteran goes down for the season with Fred Warner. That was pretty brutal last night or yesterday. Terrible thing to see. Cardinals lost again. Kyler Murray was inactive, and yet Jacoby Brissett almost pulled off the upset in Indy. Lets you wonder, again, is Kyler Murray all that special? Seattle won a big road game in Jacksonville, and watching them, a Rams team playing at full capacity, absolutely hammers the Seahawks. Absolutely. I don't think the Seahawks are that good. I just don't. But expecting the Rams in 2025 to play at full capacity is like expecting everyone on your church rolls to be in service on a Sunday. It never happens, right? And it's getting very frustrating, when you're watching this team play, because I think Tom Brady said it best. The Rams do all the big things well, but the small things are killing them. Special teams, kicking game, the giveaway, what was it? 3rd down and 9, I think, on the first drive, and the Rams jumped twice. They jumped twice to give the Ravens a first down. Just poor discipline there, poor play there. They tightened things up, but it took you a while to tighten things up against the Ravens. Are you going to have that kind of luxury if the Buccaneers are at full strength, if the Lions are at full strength? And so it makes things a bit scary going forward with the Rams. All right. We did about 10 minutes here. We actually got a couple of you guys clicked on. Thank you so much. I want to, I'll go another half minute if anyone wants to ask a question real quick, but we're going to bail and we're going to be back on, try to get on about 3:30. I hate what Monday Night Football has become with these double headers and stuff. So kind of blows up our schedule. And I don't want to take anyone away from the game. Not that anyone's going to choose us over the game, but I want to watch the game too. So we'll go from there. USA Expat. I believe the red zone issues are more of an offensive line problem versus the play calling. That there's just a lot of stuff there, right? Right when you think they got it wired, like when Kyron goes in for that touchdown, he literally doesn't even get a glove laid on him, right? And then other times it is so hard. Now, we can say, we did see, it is obvious that, even Stafford, for as great as Stafford is, he did miss Devontae Adams, right, on a couple of those throws. I mean, you can allow that once in a while for Stafford, right? But yeah, there's just struggles there that, and honestly, I don't know if I do think there are issues on that offensive line. I don't like Shelton. I just don't. Shelton, to me, prevents you from really on those goal line situations. He's going to get stood up. I just don't see him as I see him as a liability there, right? I looked at a couple of the PFF grades, and I looked at what they graded. They graded Avila good in pass protection, poor in run blocking, and run blocking is easier than pass protection. So I'm curious to see. I was happy to see he was out there all the snaps. I was happy to see the Rams got another game in for Havenstein to rest. I like what McClendon's doing, but it's going to take longer. It's going to take more rest for Havenstein. We want Havenstein in there. That's what I'm trying to say. They tried to give Terrence Ferguson the ball. I didn't like the call, the end around there to Terrence Ferguson. There's just things there at the goal line that, it's just hard to figure. Sometimes, like, just pound the rock. USA, Willie Bowen on here says just put in a fullback. I'm starting to believe, let's put in a fullback. Let's put Jared Verse in the backfield. Let him lead one of our running backs into the line, something like that. Let's do something different because we're just not converting enough and we're keeping teams in games. USA Expat also getting very tired of these ugly games. Absolutely brutal games. And you know what? The funny thing was, you're looking at it and you said, there's no reason the Rams shouldn't win this game, right? It should have been 31-3. I predicted 28-14, but it should have been 31-3 when you looked at the personnel. And the Rams just found a way to keep it close. And again, 6 weeks in, Rams are 4-2. I think in honest projections, we projected them. Okay, they could lose this game in Baltimore early. They could lose this game in Philadelphia early. And so they're right where we thought they would be. They're 4-2. Took a different route to get there, but they're 4-2, but not even close to playing good football. And do you see them beating Tampa Bay? I mean, Tampa Bay's pretty banged up, but Tampa Bay gets back to halfway where it should be, right? Do you see them beating Seattle? Do you see them beating Detroit? I don't. I just don't right now. And of course, the Rams always rise. We know that. In a way, this is just like 2023, 2024. The Rams are 4-2, but it's deceiving because this is another terribly slow start for the Rams, except there are not a lot of injuries to put this on to mollify us into thinking, hey, it's just the injuries. No, this is just another slow start for the Rams. And we give McVay and Snead that rope where we trust them. They always turn it on in the back half of the season. So we'll see. All right. Hey, man, we went close to 15 minutes. Okay. So cool. I don't want to talk too much about everything else, but we will be back on. USA, thanks for joining me. The rest of you guys, thanks for clicking on. Please leave your likes, leave your comments, and I'll try to answer them throughout the day. We'll be on about 3:30. God bless. Take care. Yeah. Go Rams. But go with a better looking performance, right? You don't want to hang around with dogs. It gives you a bad reputation.